I mean, how is Peter Obi a new hand? Somebody that was in the PDP, who ran for PDP, who ran for governor in the Labour Party. You know, the Labour Party is not a new party, it's not a fresh hand. He ran for governor, he was a governor under the PDP, people know him. And because of that, we cannot really say this is a new hand. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a tried and tested and trusted hand. You will not carry a baby and give it to a 3-year-old and say, oh, because this baby, this 3-year-old is, no. You give it to somebody that is mature, somebody that is experienced, somebody that has had children to take care of your child for you. And Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the man with the experience. We have seen what he did to develop. A lot of people will try to discredit him. Lagos was already built, blah, blah, blah. We're not talking about he built Lagos infrastructure-wise. That is not what we're talking about. We are talking about economic development. We're talking about internal revenue generation. We're talking about building leaders for tomorrow. We're talking about people that have put their lives forward and built institutions and built people to make sure that Nigeria and their country runs well. And this is the same man that has a vast experience in the private sector, in the public sector, in his family life. So there is no way you carry a man like that. You did not hear Bola Ahmed Tinubu being mentioned inside Panama Papers. Or did you hear his name in Panama Papers? He is a legitimate businessman who has worked with ExxonMobil, who has established many viable businesses that are currently running, and even his children. If you look at Sheyi Tinubu, you can see that he inherited his father, that he is also a very good businessman. You can see his wife, a pastor, a senator, a mother, our mommy, that she has been a cornerstone. I'm in the same committee with her in telecoms. I know her personally. She's a very wonderful woman. These are the kind of people. And we also need somebody that will also listen. Women should understand that now is the time that they are going to have a right and a voice in government. Because Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a person that gives women their right. He will allow her to talk. He will hear her. She will give advice. She will chip in. So women, if you remember during Babangida, his wife Mariam Babangida, when she had the Better Life for Rural Women and all these types of programs. So these are the types of things that women should expect when Bola Ahmed Tinubu wins the vote and election in 2023 February, by God's grace. There's nothing like the economy has been on its heels. The whole world's economy has been on its knees. Everywhere there is inflation. If you go to the US, UK, Canada, Norway, everywhere there is inflation. Saudi Arabia, South Africa. I will say that our government has done well. The only place that may have faltered is that we need to look at the kind of fiscal and monetary policies that are coming out of the CBN. We need to address the issues in the CBN, MFLA especially. That is where the issue is. So the government has not failed, but we need to look at the monetary and the fiscal policy of this country that are coming out. We cannot continue, and I'm not blaming MFLA. MFLA is a private banker. MFLA is an accountant. We need to carry people that are economists and put them in charge of the economy. But you will not carry, it's like Fela's song, Taylor, go they do carpenter work. There will be problem. I will not say I have, what issues do I have more than the inflation that Nigeria is suffering? You know, the prices are skyrocketing. Nigerians, we need to have those things addressed. So apart from that, the government has performed very well. They have stabilized the economy. There was a slight depression at one point. Nigerian economy is not in depression. Right now, we are on a growth spot. So there is no way you can say the APC does not do well economically. We have problem with fiscal and monetary policy, and that is what needs to be addressed. And we need to put economists in charge of the CBN governor, and that is what Bola Ahmed Tinubu is going to do come February 2023 and May 29 when he's elected. The solution is the security architecture. That's what we're already doing. More intelligence gathering, more awareness by citizens, more punitive measures by the culprits, for the culprits. And we need to stop negotiating with terrorists and kidnappers. That is all. And that is what the federal government is doing. That is what the APC is doing. The APC is fighting terrorism. The APC is fighting kidnapping. The APC is fighting banditry. and insurgency and all types of insecurity, and the APC is doing extremely well. I commend the service chiefs for how they are trying, especially when the commander-in-chief changed the service chiefs, and now he has brought these ones that are performing better than the last ones, and hold them accountable, give them performance targets, do performance reviews to make sure that everybody is doing their job. That is all. We have to become more creative as a country. We have the resources to get everything that we need. So there needs to be more creativity. That is not my purview. That is not why I'm here today. That is the job of the executive. Like I said, I am a legislator in the House of Reps representing Taka Isimela Federal Constituency. So it is very important that we narrow down our discussions to that view. I'm a party member of the APC and a strong supporter, astute supporter of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and I'm under the, there's the Bola Ahmed Initiative for Good Governance that is in Kano, that is run by my father, General Honourable Bello Dambazau, and I am under that flag and platform, and there's Ali Abubakar, Abdullah Abubakar, that is also in charge of the coordination in Kano State, and that is where we are putting most of our strength to see that a strong leader emerges. Thank you very much, TVC, for your time and for interviewing me and for your questions. See, I have to go. Well, I see you are part of this team. The National Assembly is a representative of Nigerians. The executive are elected to implement. When we speak with the voice of Nigerians. So what is of the best interest to our aggregated constituencies is what makes and informs our decision making. So if we make that kind of decision, then we have looked at it that by some way, directly or indirectly, then this is for the best interest of the country, and this is what the country needs in order to implement policies and reach our mandate, and even help the federal and the executive to reach their own mandate as well. So you see, if you check back for the past 20 years, if I can recall, there's no federal government, there's no president that has implemented the budget 100%. It's President Buhari that is the first to do it since we started in 1999. He's the first president since 1999 to achieve 100% implementation of the budget. So you can imagine all the gaps that have been left over the years. This man has tried in his own right with the challenges that he met. He could have done better. There are places that I would have loved to see him focus on, like I would have loved to see electricity being generated. Like I would have loved to see him focus just on that. Okay, let's get Nigeria electricity. But of course, nobody can do it all. But nobody has ever done 100% implementation. And I believe that this started with the APC, and that when Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Kashim Shettima take over with their ballot when they win in February 29, they will also continue to have 100% implementation, which will inject capital and create jobs in the economy and the country. Thank you. No, it will not. Because Bola Ahmed, see, like Bola Ahmed Tinubu is widely accepted in Kano. You saw the crowd. That was an organic crowd. Those were voters that have PVCs. Those are students in universities. Those are civil servants. Those are housewives. Those are children of politicians. Those are children of the monarchy that came out en masse to support our candidate because of the love people have for him. Because people of Kano, we see Bola Ahmed Tinubu as one of us. Now, he's somebody that has done a lot in Kano. Anything that happens, anytime we have any issue in Kano, Tinubu has always been there. Anytime. It takes him nothing. You see him there. In times of happiness, in times of sadness, in times of prosperity, in times of suffering, Tinubu has always been there for us in Kano. And we love him just like he loves us. And you saw it that day. The video is very clear that he is somebody that is popular and loved in Kano, and that those people are shaking and they are afraid because they know that they have lost Kano. It could be errors from the registration process, you know. There could be errors from the registration process since, unfortunately, we have a high number, I think in the country, in Kano, we have the highest number of out-of-school children, we have the highest number of illiteracy, illiterates and everything. So there are people that could go and be blundering when they go to register. And that could also cause a reduction in the numbers. But by and large, regardless of those circumstances, one thing I want you to consider, number one, even if there are people that come out in crowds that don't have a PVC, they have 5 or 10 other people that when they talk to that, admire them and listen to them that have PVCs, that they will tell them vote. So it's not just because only PVC, there are people that don't have PVC that are also very important to the movement. And so because of that, like I told you, come February 2023, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Kano State, and not only Kano State, Nigeria as a whole, we are going to win, and we'll get 25% across all the 36 states, that even if the ones that we don't win. So Tinubu is already sold out. It's just like when you talk about MTN. You already bought your phone, you have your SIM card, you must buy MTN because you know that you have to reload your card. It is selling itself. They don't have to come and be advertising to you. Come and buy a recharge card because you know that this is the recharge card that you have to buy to put in your phone for your phone to work, for you to make phone calls. That is how Tinubu is. He is the recharge card for Nigeria. And he sells himself. His track record speaks for himself. Everything that he has done in Lagos State, what he has done to build people, to place people, and even the success of the APC and bringing the change and manifesting the change mantra in 2015. It's not about expectations from him. You are supposed to ask me what I will do to help him succeed. We will work diligently to make sure that we are not shamed. Many people are saying we cannot do it, we cannot do this, we cannot do that. We will show them that APC is the winning party, that we can do it, and that will take Nigeria to the promised land. You will get 100%. President Buhari is a party member. He is the leader of the APC. And maybe if you are not privy to this information, we actually have a set timetable for different states and cities where we go for rallies. And there are specific cities, because you hear people talking out of the side of their mouth, saying Buhari has not been appearing for the... No, there are specific cities and dates that have been slated in those cities and states in the timetable for President Muhammadu Buhari to appear with our candidates, because he also has his executive function still to perform. So he cannot be everywhere and leave the affairs of the country. So everything is in order. He has 100% support from the president, from the villa, and from the party, and from the nation as a whole. Historically, we've always had violence, but the violence is in pockets. I remember what happened in Rivers State in 2015, where there was this video clip. Some people were running around chasing people with machetes. So they happen here and here, isolated pockets of violence will occur. But generally, there's going to be a smooth election because all the interested parties are making sure, and we are the ruling party, the security apparatus is in the control of the commander-in-chief. So we will make sure that everything is set in order to allow Nigerians to exercise their rights. Security officers also kill bandits. They kill them, they catch them, they kill them. So just because maybe they were lucky to kill one security officer, and the security agencies have been prevailing on them, parading them, even on your network, you've seen them. So it's not something, Nigeria is winning the war on insecurity and terrorism. It's been a wonderful experience. I definitely enjoyed being here. It gave me the opportunity to touch a lot of people's lives in terms of their education, in terms of their employment, in terms of infrastructure. I focused a lot on school, on education. So in my constituency, I was able to build scores of schools in different areas, especially in the places where there are places that they've never had a school there. Because maybe most people that would come before, they would do their projects by the roadside. They want people to see what they've done. So what I did, I took the opposite approach. I went into the hinterland lands of my constituency. The villages, some places that don't even have roads. I built a lot of schools there. I did a lot of programs to train them for entrepreneurship, give them capital to work with. For the farming, I have a project on the Hallowed Dambazau Ningi Road that is still ongoing, which, because we do a lot of farming, so I brought that project to allow people to bring out their produce from the farms. Did a lot of fertilizer work, in initiatives to help farmers to produce more crops, to give them tools. So these are the types of things that empowerment of women, to give them means that they can also support themselves. So I think overall I enjoyed myself. I had a good time. I feel fulfilled, especially for the aspect that I was able to build over 30-something schools within 4 years, based on me putting a lot of my constituency projects towards that and being a member of the Education Committee on Education. Thank you to Professor Julius Ihombere for supporting me in what I was trying to achieve, and I achieved that. And a lot of the students that were sitting on the floors, they did not have books. We were able to do all these things. So I'm very happy and satisfied, and I feel very fulfilled. Thank you.
Any regrets?
No, I am fine. I've done what I'm supposed to do. If I want to return, it's just 4 years, 2027, I'll come out, I'll run again. Maybe I can even go to the Senate. Like I said earlier, they should bring in technology. They should bring in mail-in voting. They should bring in QR codes. We need to sit back, and these are things I'm even just telling you off the top of my head without thinking. So they need to sit down and look, if we keep on bringing people that don't have head and they don't have brain, and you remove people that have brain and you'll be bringing idiots, then we will not be able to move forward. But if we have people that can think critically, get solutions, people that are creative, we will not have all these problems in this country. Do you understand? So I think the INEC should sit down. Okay, we have this problem. Instead of you scrambling and shouting, how do we get it? We have 3 million PVCs that have not been collected. Sit down and say, okay, how do we distribute these things? How do we prevent these problems from happening? You have to be creative. You have to sit down and think critically. You have to be solution-oriented. You have to look at the glass half full, not half empty. And then you solve all of your problems. That's what I'm saying. They need to introduce technology. Maybe your PVC can be on your phone. If you have a smartphone, they can send you with an OTP. You get a secure QR code that you know, okay, this QR code represents your, listen, when you go there, they scan your QR code on your phone. It brings you up. You've collected your card without going there. They can send it to you on your email. You print your, there are many ways. Send it to you via mail. You get, NIPOST has not been doing anything. You know, you do it securely. There's courier services now. NIPOST is not doing anything. Bring back courier service into NIPOST. Let them specifically be mandated to distribute people's PVCs. And you put in, look, it's about checks and balances. You cannot say that you will not do something because you're afraid somebody is going to counterfeit. You create checks and balances. Okay, somebody is going to counterfeit. How are they going to do it? And you check that.